You ever watch something that just stops you mid-scroll? Like, you're sipping your drink, zoned out, and suddenly boom, your jaw's on the floor. That's exactly what happened when I saw the news about Cierra Ortega's exit from Love Island USA. It wasn't just drama. It wasn't just reality TV stuff. It hit different. This felt personal. Messy. Real. And if you've been watching Season 7, you already know what I'm talking about. Cierra didn't just leave. She disappeared. One moment she's smiling in the villa, and the next, she's gone. No real goodbye. Just, vanished. And at first, we were all like, wait, what happened? Did she get sick? Was there an emergency? But nah. The truth was darker. Heavier. And when it came out, the internet exploded. Not in a funny meme kind of way. I mean like full on, people crying, people raging, people rethinking the whole damn show. Because it turns out, Cierra didn't leave for a personal emergency. She left because her past caught up with her heart. So here's what really happened. And buckle up, because it gets intense. On July 6th, during a brand new episode, they announced that Cierra had exited the villa for personal reasons. That's what they said. Just 2 words. Personal reasons. But behind that little phrase, there was a storm brewing. Because around that same time, some of her old social media posts started popping up online. And these weren't just cringy teenage tweets or old party photos. No. We're talking about actual racist remarks. Comments that targeted Chinese people. Slurs. Stereotypes. Stuff that just flat out crosses the line. And once that hit the internet, it spread like wildfire. Screenshots. Reposts. Reactions. You couldn't escape it. Everyone had an opinion. Some were shocked. Some were heartbroken. Others were like, I knew something was off. But what nobody could ignore, was the pain. The disappointment. The betrayal people felt. Because fans have connected with Cierra. They saw her as someone real, fun, full of energy. And then boom, this side of her past comes out, and it shattered that image in seconds. And you could feel the fallout instantly. Fans started dragging her online. Comment sections turned into war zones. Her name was trending, but not in the way you'd ever want. It was brutal. And then, in the middle of all this, her parents spoke out. Yeah. Her parents. They went on her Instagram and shared a statement. And honestly, it felt like they were just trying to hold everything together. They said this was one of the most painful weeks of their lives. That they weren't trying to defend what she said. That they weren't making excuses. But they were asking for something else, compassion. They talked about the hate, the threats, the messages not just to Cierra, but to her family, her friends, even random supporters. They said it was heartbreaking. And whether you love her or you're furious with her, you've gotta admit that level of hate is dangerous. And it doesn't just stay online. It bleeds into people's lives. Real lives. And here's where it gets complicated. Because yeah, Cierra messed up. Big time. There's no sugarcoating that. What she said in those posts was wrong. Period. But now she's off the show. She's gone quiet. And her family says she's taking time to reflect. To face this. To come back when she's ready with honesty and accountability. But the question is, will people forgive her? Should they? Or is some damage just too deep? That's the debate. That's what everyone's arguing about right now. And honestly, I don't have a simple answer. Because this situation? It's not just about one person. It's about a pattern. A system. A bigger issue with how shows like Love Island pick their cast. Let me break it down. This isn't the first time something like this has happened on this show. Just a few weeks before Cierra's exit, another contestant, Yulissa Escobar, left after people found old podcast clips where she used the N-word. And that's not small. That's huge. That's a massive red flag. So when fans saw another contestant get exposed for racism, they started asking the obvious question, how is this happening? Like, how are these people even getting on the show in the first place? What's the vetting process? Are the producers not doing background checks? Or do they just not care? Is it about getting the most dramatic people for ratings? Or are they just looking the other way? People are mad. And not just at Cierra. They're mad at the whole system. They feel let down. Disrespected. Like the show is playing with real lives and real pain just to boost views. And when you think about it, they might have a point. Because when stuff like this happens, it's not just oops, we missed something. It's, we put someone on a massive platform who shouldn't have been there. And the consequences? They're huge. They don't just affect the person exposed. They affect everyone watching. Especially people in the Asian community. People who've been hurt by those kinds of words. People who turn to shows like this for escape and end up feeling triggered instead. That's real damage. And it sticks. And in the middle of all this chaos, we've got another piece of the puzzle, Nick Van Steenberg. You remember him? Cierra's partner on the show. The guy she was coupled up with since the beginning. He was right there with her, every episode. Flirty. Loyal. Sweet. So when Cierra left, everyone was watching him. Like, how would he react? Would he be heartbroken? Would he leave too? Or would he pretend like nothing happened? Turns out, he didn't wait long. Like, at all. Within days, he was already reconnecting with Ilandria Carthan. And not just talking. They kissed. At the fire pit. Full-on kissed. And some fans were like, damn, that was fast. Others were like, well, what was he supposed to do? But here's the interesting part. Ilandria admitted she always had feelings for Nick. So was this just her chance to finally shoot her shot? Or did Nick just move on because he felt hurt, confused, maybe even blindsided? Honestly, maybe a bit of both. Breakups on reality TV move at light speed. But still the timing felt off. Like the dust hadn't even settled yet. And Nick's over here kissing someone new. It made people feel like Cierra was just erased. Like her whole presence on the show was deleted the second she walked out. And again, people are divided. Some are like, good for him. Keep playing the game. Others are like, where's the loyalty? And while all this was going on, other cast members started speaking up. One name that stood out? Belle Walker. She didn't hold back. On Instagram, she basically said, look, I'm glad the producers took a stand. She talked about how Asian hate is often ignored. How people don't treat it like real racism. But it is real. And it's hurtful. And it needs to be addressed. And Belle wasn't just making a statement. She was speaking from experience. She said she's a first-generation American. That she's felt those kinds of comments before. That she knows what they do to a person. And her words hit hard. Because it wasn't about gossip. It was about real pain. Real wounds. Real people. And she made a point to ask her fans not to attack Cierra. Which, honestly, took strength. Because she could have just cancelled her publicly. But she didn't. She chose to call out the behavior without adding fuel to the fire. And that's powerful. That's what accountability should look like. Calling something wrong, but not using it as an excuse to destroy someone. That's maturity. And we need more of it, not just from cast members, but from all of us. Because when these things happen, it's easy to jump on the outrage train. To scream, to cancel, to lash out. But sometimes, what actually makes the biggest impact, is slowing down. Listening. Learning. And demanding better, not just from the people on screen, but from the people behind the screen too. So what happens next? Honestly, we don't know. Cierra's gone quiet. Her parents say she's stepping back. Taking time. And maybe she will come back with something real. Something honest. Something that shows growth. Or maybe she'll stay gone. But either way, the damage is done. The conversation has started. And it's not going away. Because fans aren't just viewers anymore. We're the voice. We're the power. When we speak up, when we demand change, shows listen. Brands listen. Platforms shift. And if we want Love Island or any reality show to be better, to be realer, to be more responsible, then it starts with us. Our comments. Our choices. Our expectations. So if you're watching this and you feel fired up, good. If you feel hurt, you're not alone. And if you're confused about how to feel same. This whole thing is messy. Complicated. Human. And maybe that's the point. Reality TV is supposed to show us real people. But that means showing the good, the bad, the ugly. And when the ugly comes out, we can't just look away. We have to face it. Talk about it. Grow from it. That's how things change. That's how we build a better community, not just on screen, but out here in the real world. So look. If this video hit you in the chest, if you felt anything watching this, then do me a favor. Drop a comment. Tell me how you're feeling. No filter. No pressure to be right. Just be real. Let's talk about it. Because your voice matters here. And if you want to keep unpacking stories like this, raw, honest, uncomfortable but necessary, then make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Seriously. I'm not just saying it to boost numbers. I'm saying it because this is a space for real conversations. And I want you to be a part of that. We're not just fans. We're a community. And we deserve better from the shows we love. Let's demand it. Together.